Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Starters Order 7, and this is our race construction kit. We're back in the CK because I've had an idea of kind of where horses are good to run, and it's not quite been right lately, and there's been some comments on it as well that yeah, it's very difficult to judge horses, and it is. It really is, and you do have to kind of test your beliefs and your assumptions, and continuously retest. It's a scientific method. It really is. You think something's right, you test it. And then if you're proved right, cool. That doesn't mean you stop testing. And that's kind of something I've fallen into is just the easy way is, oh, this horse is a mile one and it's going to stay at a mile one unless something changes that I can see. But you can't always see the changes. They're not well represented enough. So I'm coming into the CK primarily to look at the UK save and a couple of horses there that I really like that I'm not sure are quite getting the runs that they should be. And we've had our problems with the CK too. Sometimes horses run really well in the CK, they don't show up in races. Sometimes they show up really well in races, but they're terrible in the CK. We know these are factors. This isn't going to decide everything, but this is really something I wanted to do for myself to kind of figure out where I stood on a lot of my horses and kind of how I could put them together. So that's what I've done. I've gone through, I've got rid of some horses from the CK, and I filled it up with pretty much every available horse from the racing stables of both the UK and US saves, and the breeding saves. Not the breeding saves, the breeding barn of the US save as well, because they're kind of 6 years old and 8 years old, and you know, that's prime jumps age. Has kind of got me thinking, should I be discounting those horses without even trying them too? So just a little bit of a fun one to break up my kind of gameplay a little bit, because the jump saves got me in a weird place right now, and I don't just want to stop playing it. I need to figure out a way to continue it that I'm happy with, and resolve some of those issues. So this is a nice little break, and really just to refresh my ideas of who these horses are or might be. So you'll see, we do still have Candy Star, Eve Secret, Stardrum, Eve's Water, Brazingham, or Brazingham, Krabby's Down, Plateau Brex, Storming Wanted, and Bertarella. They survive. On top of that, we invite Caracan. Dramster's a little weird, because he's right there. But he's 2 years older. I kind of want to see what the difference in Stardrum and Dramster is. Especially since this version of Stardrum is what we started with in this save. We imported him, and now he's 5. Peanut Butter is Plateau Brex, so again, that's the same. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for me to see kind of these get on, and the other ones from our UK save. Crystal Verdict, Lockkeeper, Sweet and Sour, Braised Ham is Brazingham and Haig, aka Brazingham. Living Pot is Suicide Bullet, and then from America, we got Life Quest, Mysterious Trader, or actually from the Breeding Barn. No, the Breeding Barn's done. Okay, yeah, from that save, we got Life Quest, Mysterious Trader, A Cold Shy Prince, Noblesse, Oblige, Mana Lurker, Rainmaker, Institute Spy, Pure Adventure, Hara, who I'm very intrigued to see what he does, because it's him and Caracan are the two that I kind of feel should be good, and they're not in each in their respective saves. So interesting. Ice Queen, double, and then from the barn, Pastel Pure, Consuela Blaze, Promise Princess, Ramps Group, Swan Dive, Haig Brex, and Much Demure. So yeah, very interesting to me. Maybe not to anyone else, but to me. I'm going to start with a little 3 mile fence, and we're gonna see. Actually, no, we're gonna go 4 mile fence, and we're just gonna see who shows up, who doesn't. Right? This is gonna be a big money race. It's gonna be £5 million. Random going, ages open. It's a grade 1, 4 miles. Just, yeah, 100% at Royal Ascot. Maybe not Royal Ascot. Let's go first last. Let's go first last. So yeah, we have 38. It said select up to 30. We got 38. And they're all here. And they are who they are. And we go and see who are the favourites. Well, everybody is 25-1 joint favourites. Few of them look like they got the laid-back blue triangles, no pink triangles. But yeah, a bunch of Americans, because that's where most of these horses have come from. And then peanut butter, purple searcher, I mean, they are American. Braised ham is American. Dramster, Caracan, like we discussed, are all Americans. So a handful of Brits, not too many. A little 4 mile. Like, who is, in the CK's opinion, who is the best jumper at 4 miles? It's the entire way across. Oh man, I love it. That tickled me so much. Oh, wonderful. I ain't commentating. I'm not commentating. That's from Purple Searcher and Institute Spy. We've got a group of 4 behind the Leopard, Caracan, Eve's Secret, Life Quest, back to Eve's Water, and I guess out on this near side is Candy Star. That is a horse I really do like and could maybe do something. No coalescing down closer to the rails so they don't have to run such a wide bend. At the back at the moment, Ram Scoop, Ice Queen, Dramster. Oh, yeah, Ram Scoop, Ice Queen. Krabby's down. Is Krabby down? They have pulled up with an injury. Crystal Verdict, Dramster's moving up, Storming Wanted. Is there Mysterious Trader and Pure Adventure with Double, Mana Lurker, the youngster, Bertarella's in you with Hurrah, and, yeah. Oh, Crystal Verdict, Nice Queen. They don't like the run. They don't like the run. Halfway through, they fold. 3 are out. 35 still run. It's nice to see some people brazing them just in the middle. It looks like Stardrum, Hig, Brex, all in play there. Back up at the front door, Peanut Putter side by side with Plateau Brex. Who could have seen such things coming? I mean, side by side, they got Candy Star right there with them. Eve's Secret, South Bullet is well into the front here with Caracan. May even start just edging for the lead. There they go. They're actually in the lead in the race. South Bullet. My God. Peanut Butter is there. A little ahead now. Braised Ham moving up. We know they like distance. So we'll kind of see. Lockkeeper. Some unexpected names as always. But we're only 3 miles in. We've got over half a mile to go coming up now. And the field does seem to want to coalesce. Dramster, Ram Scoop, both out with Crystal Verdict, Ice Queen, and Krabby's down, of course. Eve's Secret is going for it, and Eve's Secret is they always have a little left in the tank. Candy Star running well, but do they have the kick? We're down to the final 1.5. Braised Ham, but oh my God, on the outside, Consuela Blaze with a magnificent run. Consuela Blaze That's nuts. Wow. Did not expect them to run that well over that distance. Eve Secret, Braised Ham, Consuela Blaze, Brazingaman. I mean, he took second and fourth, to be fair, as a 3 and a 4-year-old. But yeah, Blaze, I just didn't expect, but I probably should have. Just from the lineage. South Bullet's an interesting one. They were eased and they were still in contention. Caracan actually ran well in between Plateau Brex and Candy Star. They are two very good horses too. Peanut Butter, a little bit behind Plateau Brex. And Hague Brex is an interesting one as well, kind of down the order a little bit, but not too shabby, I would say, for a first run. Not too shabby. Mysterious Trader, Shy Prince, Nobles Oblige, Institute Spy, Double. I mean, Institute Spy, probably not great. Frankie the Tory riding as well. You'd want to see more. But, yeah, everybody else down the back end here was 2, so they had the worst run. Much Demure at 6. Didn't get a lot really going. Higbrex was the 8-year-old, and they come 11th. But not bad. That's kind of interesting to me. So, yeah, that's on the flat. I'm not going to run hurdles. I think we're just going to run fences. Just call them all back in. And again, just see how they go. So Eve Secret and Brazingham are kind of favorites for this with Rainmaker, Double, Promise Princess. Yeah, didn't see a lot of the Promise Princess. Higbrex and Much Demure. Okay, we'll see. Oh, in the rain. 4 mile, now with fences. And again, we'll just see how they get off. I'm not entirely sure. But can we watch Mana Lurker, the grey, on this near side on the next jump? I guess they've gone inside now. But I swear to God that they were just running round the fences and not jumping them. There was a jumping animation, but they weren't going over. They were going round. Oh my God, that's wild. Institute Spy's already out. Considering we had like 3 or 4 drop out in the first mile. I think it was 3 we had like drop out in the first mile or so. Only to have 1 faller when you got fences. Kind of interesting. Really kind of interesting. Purple Searcher leading us out with Candy Star. And Caracan right up there. We're looking to see what they can do. Living Pop Much Demure. Not bad at all. Promise Princess down at the back with Brazingham. Bertarella, Stardrom, Hara in middle as well. Yeah, Braised Ham and Peanut Butter. Not too bad. Peanut Butter and Plateau Brex, again, are pretty much side by side. So, only 1 faller so far. Halfway round, and there we go. Higbrex is unseated. Not that I wanted to see it, but I was more surprised, especially in the rain. Maybe that's slowing them down so they're not hitting it with as much speed, so there's a little more sort of margin for error maybe. But not too bad so far. They're all kind of keeping on their feet. Caracan is right up at the front. Purple Searcher now dropping off, though. Caracan as well, a little Leaf Secret behind. Much Demure, but challenging for the lead and taking it now with a little over a mile to go. South Bullet, Sweet and Sour, Consuela Blaze is still up there. Pastel Pure, who is going to come? Oh my God, Caracan is unseated. Unbelievable, Jeff. Eve Secret right up there, and here comes Candy Star. We love this horse. We really loved Candy Star. Making a bit of a move. Blaze making a move. Pastel Pure as well. Everybody now fighting. There goes Blaze. And Much Demure wants this one. Eve Secret just got a rocket ship. Blaze is holding on. Sweet and Sour with a nice run. And they're battling. Much Demure and Eve Secret battling and battling and battling. And Blaze right towards the end, coming up to make it interesting. What a close 1-2 that's going to be. Much Demure from Eve Secret. Consuela, Blaze. In the end, Caracan, Hig Brex, Nobles Oblige, Manaluka, Shy Prince, and Institute Spy all out. 2 unseated. I think the others fell. But yeah, give me an extra furlong, maybe 2 furlongs. I think that's like a dead heat. And Blaze probably nibbling the tails. Consuela Blaze is running well over distance. We're learning. We're maybe not learning about some of the horses that we thought. But I'm trying to leave it wide open so we can see kind of what's happening. I'm surprised the 3 pulled up. I'm not surprised that they were 2-year-olds. Institute Spy fell straight away. And we had a couple of unseated horses. Hara just didn't really do much. It is a long distance. I get that. There's, reasons I'm trying to see. Do names over distances keep cropping up? Yeah, Much Demure taking it is really interesting to me because I didn't feel she had a ton of distance. I didn't feel that she was going to do well over jumps. Eve Secret's a horse that's always performed well in the CK. Consuela Blaze ran in snatches, still almost got up on them. That might be one of my big takeaways so far. Is Blaze is really interesting. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's set him up. 2-mile fences. 2-mile hurdles. Let's go away from Foslas. Let's go to... Let's go to Aintree. Again, probably the same kind of people being favorites. Let's kind of see. Is there anything that stands out? Is Consuela Blaze going to be high up again? Or is it all going to change now in distance? Is it all just pure pace now? Is this flat racing? Basically, I think it kind of is. 2-mile hurdle. Ay. Cool. Not going to have as much time to kind of see how things go, but Purple Searcher going well. They're all clear through the first jump. They're all clear over 2. And a third of the way round. They good. They are good. Okay. Yeah, Caracan is up near the front. We're okay over 4. Bertarella right towards the back. Hurrah, not that far back. Far ahead. Promise Princess. Brazingham. Consuela Blaze. There's a lot of them in there. It's very tight though. I mean, 3rd to 12th is probably neck and neck at times. Changing on the jumps. We do have some horses now going out for this. Living Pot just holding off Lockkeeper. And oh my God, Living Pot. Unbelievable speed towards the end. Blaze and Caracan came up for it. I'll give them that. I will give them that. Plateau Brex. Purple Searcher. And Peanut Butter again. like Bina Putta and Plateau Brex, they haven't been really more than a handful of places and like 2 lengths apart from each other. Braised ham and I'm trying to find him. Braising ham. Yeah, a little different. Stardrom and Dramster, not miles away from each other, but really not close either. Okay, but again, Consuela Blaze seemed to do okay there. Seemed to do okay. Where else are we going? Cheltenham. We're going to go Cheltenham. Cheltenham, all course, cross country, 3 mile, 2 furlongs. Let's go see. Can Consuela Blaze come again? Ooh, that's got to be painful for some of those horses, right? That's got to be painful. Yeah, most of them did not jump at all. They ran around the side again because they're not on the course. Even though it's a cross-country course, they're still not on the course. Absolutely beautiful. You know what? We love it. Caracan does seem to want to go to the start quite early. Goes up to the front quite early. Starts well, drifts off. Peanut Putter obliterated. That was a weird box jump there, looked like. Yeah, really not sure about that. Braised Ham's gone. Storming Wanted. Not that you'd expect them to do anything. We were a mile one flat, and even then, not our best. A little over 2 miles left to go on. Caracan still in the picture. Dramster is up there. Nope. Dramster is not up there. Dramster is down. That's a faller right there. The 4th to go. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it's also kind of like who I haven't been talking about is kind of interesting to me because like Hara has not been doing much. They've done poor at times, and then they've never been up the front. Brexy's down. Crystal Verdict's gone. Half a mile or so left to go. Hara's just like stuck in this backpack and not going at all. Consuela Blaze still in the mix now. Right towards the end of this with Eve's Secret. One more jump. Right on their tail, much demure. But there goes Consuela Blaze with a little bit of a kick. And driving this one out. And again, just probably the star of the CK right now, Consuela Blaze. Absolutely fantastic. Caracan, not bad. Much Demure has been performing quite well. But it is about the names you don't mention as well as the ones that you do see. Blaze, great. Eve's Secret's been good. Much Demure has been fairly consistent. Caracan has had his high points. And Hara just ain't it right now. And again, maybe it's just that they don't perform well in the CK, but it's backing up what we've seen as well in a lot of races. The only thing that we've seen from them, which gives you a little bit of hope, is the fact that they did run well at Churchill. And they got the Kentucky Derby. Now, I'm not sure that they're going to have the minerals for this. because there's some very, very good horses in the mix here, like Plateau Brex, Dramster, and Candy Star, to name three. Possibly Eve's Secret, Eve's Water as well, because they always ran well over these distances in the CK for me. But yeah, this is actually going to be interesting then. This is going to be interesting. So we've kind of tried a lot. Does Hurrah show up for this? The biggest race they've won was pretty much what we've replicated in the CK. It was a big field, not as big as this, but it was a big field. There's some very nice horses that I would expect to beat them at this distance. There's question marks over horses like Promise Princess we haven't really seen do much, but should be living in this kind of race. And the big other question for me is Consuela Blaze. What are you going to do? You've done well over flat, you've done well over 4, you've done well over 3, you've done well over 3-2, you've done well over 2 hurdles, jumps, flat, you've done it. America, right-hand track, or left-hand turn, sorry, with dirt. In this field, if Consuela Blaze does anything, either they're just a construction kit demon, or there's a lot more quality to that horse than I actually thought there was. And we can test that in game. We can try and figure that out in game. But this is asking questions. You've got to love this start. You've got to love this start. Look at them go. They're off. The Kentucky Derby-ish. Introduced by Purple Searcher, getting off to a good start. Candy Star and Caracan Eve's Secret. 3 of the favourites, they're all up near the front. Brex Dramster just in there as well. Not too bad. Promise Princess towards the middle. Bertarella as well. Blaze, Hurrah, Krabby's down. At the back, there's some interesting horses, but they're probably not going to get a good chance at this as we come to the line end. Who's kicking on the final furlong? It looks like Peanut Butter, Candy Star, as expected. Eve's Secret, we called them out. They're coming. Plateau Brex, Caracan, Consuela Blaze, though, is right in that mix behind some of the best we've ever seen at this distance, at this course, and in this race. A little bit of a surprise winner. But not to me. Not in the CK. Eve's Secret. One of the reasons we bought big on Eve's Secret was because they kept doing this. And then we took them into the game, and they kind of did this, but not really. But yeah, Eve's Secret, Plateau Brex, Peanut Butter, short-headed by the 2-year younger version of itself. I love that. Candy Star. And then Caracan into 5th. Eve's Water into 6th. Consuela Blaze, yes, 7th, but 2.5 lengths back. Eve's Water, Eve's Secret, overperformed massively in the CK. We kind of rule those out. Who actually ran well in a Kentucky Derby? Plateau Brex and Candy Star. The 2 of them are probably my best ever. Well, my best since I started picking up this game in the last 2 years, year and a half. Yeah, they're probably 1 and 2. I think if you go down to a mile 1, then Dramster or Stardrom comes into that conversation heavily. and then it's Consuela Blaze. Like, after all those. Hara didn't do too badly. Sits alongside Krabby's Down, who's a good horse, but not a great horse. Stardrom, and therefore I would say Dramster, just never performed in the CK. Way better in game. You can't really see too much from those runs to change your mind, right? So, yeah, Consuela Blaze, nice. Hara, I think, is a good horse. I don't think is a great horse. I really don't think so. I think they've had a couple of great runs, sure. Run of their life probably to take the Derby the way they did. Yeah. Caracan running well. Caracan actually running fairly well. Let's see. Where else would we want to go? I mean, we can go anywhere, right? We can go anywhere. Let's go to Maiden on the dirt. Let's do a little 3-mile flat. Can't choose whether it's night or day, but sure. Let's see what this does. So many horses. So many horses. Purple Searcher, Institute Spy, Living Pot, all towards the front, nice and early. Yeah, Ramscoop's another one. Like a fantastic 2-year-old. Just, I don't know after that, really. But not a name that I've mentioned, but at one time I was super excited about that horse. Really just overperformed at 2. So, yeah, easy to get carried away when that happens. I'm not expecting a ton of our 2-year-olds. If any of them do perform, I'll be happy. But I think they've been, mid at best, and then kind of back at the pack fairly consistently. Candy Star looks quite comfortable with Eve's Secret. Caracan, Beaner Putter, Dramster, Braised Ham. Like, Brex is starting to move up to kind of see if they can join this group as well a little bit. Stardrom not far behind Eve's Water. See if they can bridge and go. Mysterious Trader has pulled up. But once again, Hara is just not really in the mix, Kind of towards the back end of things. So's Bertarella, which is a horse that I have a lot of time for, but I don't think is the best in the world. I know we're seeing some people starting to launch here, but Beaner Putter going crazy, South Bullet going crazy, and Eve's Secret does really well. Braised Ham, though, kind of who I expected to win, Brazingham and Braised Ham, but like, boy, did one left it late and one was just off the pace there. But you would have thought that, like, at a good 3 miles, their stamina would have taken over. There is a reason why I loved Plateau Brex, because they always seem to perform no matter what I did with them. And then we taken them to the UK save and just they just don't jump. They just don't jump. But yeah, I mean, you look at it, and it is those superstar names that we've come to expect. Plus Eve's Secret, who just overperformed in the CK. That being said, I would probably still rank Eve's Secret well above Hara and Caracan. But yeah, they're kind of being ranked against monsters, which I don't think is fair. I will say this isn't the first time we've seen South Bullet either. And I don't know why, but they're racing really well. That could be an Eve Secret, Eve's Water, Modern Eve kind of issue that they just overperform. Not to get carried away with them, but yeah, at least it's something to think that maybe we've got something in South Bullet. Maybe. That's kind of interesting to me. Promised Princess just... Yeah, I was going to say the horse she reminds me the most of is probably Storming Wanted. And there ain't a ton of difference between them. On their distance, I think they're really good. Probably underperform slightly in the CK to what they would in game. And aren't going to win an absolute ton for us. And hurrah's there again, 21st. A bad run from Consuela Blaze. They didn't like 3 on the flat. That's fine. The 2-year-olds all the way down at the back, Pastel Pure, Much Demure. Like, they raced quite well for us. Not at this distance. They were like a mile 1, but like, they did good in their time. So you kind of got to remember as well that every single one of these, that's, 5 and above, and most of the 3s and above that we've kind of captured are top horses. In their own way, in their own distances, in their own disciplines, they are top horses. They might not be generational, they might not be monsters, 1 or 2 of them are. Plateau Brex is still probably my high watermark. But it is like interesting that I'm looking at some of these that I thought would be good, and we're not mentioning up near the top of the list very often. And then some names just keep cropping up. And Caracan is kind of who I thought he was. Good, not great. Competitive. Hara just doesn't fully seem like he is. Could be another Dramster, Stardrum. That could 100% be it. Could 100% be it. Let's go. What are we going over in Australia? Randwick or Rosehill? I think Randwick. I quite like Randwick. Turf 2 flat, 1 mile 4 1/4. Brazingham, or Braised Ham and Brisingamen as they will be in this. Like, shouldn't they be the favourites? Maybe one of the jumpers from Britain, because they're at least probably more likely to have distance. Plus, right-hand course on turf. Maybe that does play something into it. Consuela Blaze right at the back to begin things. To impress again, she's got a lot to make up. Harass firmly in the midfield with Krabby's down. Another horse that does remind me of Hara a lot, in that I think they're good horses, and on their day they can win a Triple Crown, or legs thereof, but they probably shouldn't have. That being said, in good company, coming through, doing bits. Caracan, though, blowing away Eve's Secret. Sweet and Sour in there ahead of Braised Ham. And then Brisingamen, behind Peanut Butter? It's a little disappointed. Brisingamen, Braised Ham, a little disappointing. Expected more out of those. Sweet and Sour, a solid run. Eve's Secret does well in the CK. But that was nice to see Caracan actually step up and run well. The Lockkeeper's a little bit of a surprise. Eve's Water overperforms. And then this Consuela Blaze. And okay, maybe not the best of runs. Some way off, 9th place, etc. But like, a couple of surprising horses in front. But horses, in general, I would stack well above. I would also have stacked Plateau Brex, Promise Princess, Hague Brex, all well above Consuela Blaze coming into this. And she's constantly overperforming, not winning, but overperforming expectations. Hara, sadly, is meeting or failing to meet expectations. Never overperforming. Think that's the issue for me. Okay. A little 6 in Kenilworth. Just a flat 6. Who's going to show up? Because again, distances get a little funky at times. But I know 100% that so many of our winners or good performers have been so far off distance and don't have adaptability. This is all just about some underlying quality of the horse at some level too. Eve's Water, once again, it's going to take something from the back if someone's going to come for it. But Living Pot, yeah, probably is on distance. Probably on distance. Eve's Water, not surprising to see them up there. Life Quest, not bad. Eve's Secret, not surprising. A little surprising for Purple Searcher, but Bina Pata, okay. Dramster, okay. My 137 and my 140 horse. Just the UK 2-year-older versions of them. But you'd expect to see them up there and the 2 Eves up there. Purple Searcher never, Seeker Violet always was good, not great. Just a little bit something there, I guess. Life Quest, Living Pot, the 2 surprises, as I said. And then you fall down into the weird mix then. Crystal Verdict, Sweet and Sour, Lockkeeper, Pure Adventure, Stardrom. You'd expect them to be higher up. Plateau Brex. Like, they're getting overperformed by their clones. Candy Star I would have expected to be higher up. Caracan's hanging in that kind of quality. Plateau Brex, Candy Star, Caracan, Consuela Blaze, Hara, Krabbies, like Stardrom. Like, there's so many good names in this middle part of the order. Promise Princess, not great. %, a little disappointing in places. Where else do I want to go? Let's go to Woodbine. Yeah, let's go to Woodbine. On the dirt, I want a little miler. And let's see what crops up. Let's see who comes to play. Because I'm trying to give so many different conditions and, types of track, distances, left-hand turn, right-hand turn, undulating, flat, jumps, hurdles. I'm trying to give a little something almost everywhere to see who is always overperforming my expectations, who's always going under. Same horses every single race go towards the front. So it is about how they want to race. And then we got horses that have performed in one or two races and nowhere near in others, and you can kind of tell that, okay, we hit some distances and we missed some for others. Like Caracan is coming up really nicely over a mile with Eve Secret, Eve's Water, Candy Star, Peanut Butter, or Peanut Butter, and Plateau Brex. Like that in the CK, from a mile to a mile two, that's almost the who's who right there. That is almost the who's who. The two Eves who overperform, Candy Star was a demon, Peanut Butter and Plateau Brex are a demon, and who's next is Consuela Blaze once again. I'm convinced there's something to this horse. There is something more to Blaze than I thought was there. Hurrah didn't run poorly, just didn't look great, and again, I really do think he's a Krabby's down storming wanted kind of horse. I really do think that is the case. I really do think that is the case. On the day, they can win any race, but typically across the season, they're much more likely to be top three in a big race. If they come up against real quality, they're going to struggle. And again, the 2-year-olds down the back. Similar kind of names. Promise Princess, not being impressed at all. Yeah. Hurrah is not as good as I think that they are. Quite likely. Caracan could be. Could just need more time over the jumps. Could need more time over the jumps. Let's go to France. To Longchamp. To 2 mile 5 furlongs. And see who can get this. And then I think maybe Newmarket, if I can do some jumps there at about the same distance. Why is it so slow? I can't speed up. I can only slow down. Wow, this is strange. Unless this is sped up, it doesn't feel sped up. And this definitely feels like this isn't just me, right? This is slowed down. My brain and my eyes are breaking on this one. Okay, we're just gonna let it run. We're just gonna let it run. Caracan is out in front again early on. Consuela Blaze is dead last right now. Dead last. Okay, a little over a mile then. Hara always at the back as well. And being always at the back in a large field isn't great. Maybe hurting a little bit. But I don't really like changing a horse's run style with jockey orders and whatnot. I don't think it works well. South Bullet leading. Again, a lot of the same names are up near the front, though. Final furlong. Kicking on then. Yeah, it. Oh my god. Oh, somebody help me. Somebody call my mama. Oh, it's about to get funky up in here. Oh my god. Oh, anyone ever seen that before? Anyone ever seen that happen before? Because it's a first for me. Oh my god, it's a first for me. Oh, damn. Just... I thought the finish line was in a weird place. Oh, we just come off the turn, there's no marker, there's no nothing, and then they just... Yeet! Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's glorious. That's what that is. Oh, I won't give in till I'm victorious. Sweet and sour took it from braised ham and Brazingaman. Yeah. Pato Brex, Bina Pata, Eve Secret, Candy Star. Again, pretty much all the names you'd expect to see, and they're cropping up. Kara Khan has been in a lot of those conversations quite a lot, I will say. Fair play, they're in there quite a lot. It's another nice run. Sweet and sour, a little bit more of a surprise again. But man, it's these 4-year-olds that come out of nowhere for a race or two and surprise. Hara, meh, just meh. Yeah, Blaze got injured. She's the big surprise. Kara Khan is more affirming. Hara, a little damning. I don't feel like I've learned too much about other horses in general. Nobody has shown up crazy amounts. I wonder if that's just on Turf 3 at Longchamp or if it does it everywhere. We're not going to check. Nope. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah? Nope. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? I think we go to Leopardstown. Hurdles or fences? Let's go fences. 2.5 mile fence. 2.5 mile fence. This will probably be the last one for me to get an idea of what I'm looking at. Oh, let's hope that the horses just go forwards and not sideways. Oh, a little bit peeping Tomish. We didn't pay to see the race. We didn't pay entry for the race course. So, in a little buggy in the woods, trying to sneak peeks through as we drive around the course. Yeah, look, now they're able to run. Must just be France. Longchamp Turf 3. Purple Searcher. Don't know what they're searching for, but they didn't find it there. Down at the second. Oh, yeah. Longchamp almost killed me. Longchamp always killed me. If you've ever seen it, let me know. And smash like and subscribe just for whatever the hell that was. Where else are you going to get content like this? Ugh. My god, that was just dumb. Oh. Okay. Yeah, some names we like near the front. Again, hurrah, kind of in the second half, and hanging around with Bertarella, Storming Wanted, and Krabby's Down. Blaze is there too. Interested to see if they make a bit of a run soon to move up the order. Promise Princess in that kind of area, not really doing too much. Okay. Is it just me, or did like people just not like Jump 11? Oh my God, there goes Blaze. Yeah, see that. How can you not be impressed with Consuela Blaze? How can you not be impressed with what we've seen from Consuela Blaze in this video? There were the horses that were good but not great, that mean something to me for reasons in general outside of their racing ability or where they stand in the hierarchy of just like pure quality. My first Triple Crown winner. The first horse that did anything really good, that got a few grade ones for me, and was the mother to my first Triple Crown winner. And a demon on his day at a mile 1 who almost shocked the world. Krabby's Down, Bertarella, Storming Wanted. Those are my quintessential good horses. They're high up in my heart. They're not very high up in terms of quality horses that we've done. No. Okay, Carahan fell. They were near the front as well. 4 went down at that jump. They just didn't love it. But I have been fairly impressed with them. I have been. So it's definitely worth trying to persevere and try and get them into a good position. Hara, I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is, because I'm going to experiment a little bit with his distancing game and jockey instructions. But ultimately, I don't feel like there is enough quality there to overcome some of his weaknesses. So, yeah. And this hasn't changed my mind in a good way on that horse. Out of the rest, everyone's kind of up and down and okay and not great. And, you know, Promised Princess, we used to think she was an absolute machine at 2 and 3, and you kind of felt that she was always just on the brink and maybe just a bit more time. And yeah, but she's probably a fairly average horse in terms of this group, which is no mean feat to be just solidly middle of the pack in this. That's another one like a Bertarella or Krabby's Down for me. Up near the front, couple of nice horses though. Pure Adventure ran really well in this one. South Bullet's not the first time we've seen that name up a little higher than I'd have thought in a few races. Sweet and Sour's done okay. There's some really nice horses in this list, especially in terms of the CK with the 2 Eves. Candy Star was always a bit of a demon. So we're seeing a couple of names overperforming, but yeah, Consuela Blaze. Very, very interesting horses. Very interesting horses. If I had to say my best horse, I would find it really difficult to choose between 3. But Dramster doesn't perform in the CK. The Candy Star and Brex are the top dogs. Trying to think who else might even be vaguely up there. I would say probably those two. Brisingham and Haig, when he's a bit older, I'll throw him in. I want to test. I want to test Hara and Caracan. And I guess Blaze. Not a big field. A 6-horse field. And we'll go to Shatin. Why not? Let's go to Shatin. Yeah, let's go to Shatin. How much distance do I want to go for? Maybe 1.5. Maybe 1.5. The Candy Star, Brisingham, Plateau Brex, Caracan, Hara, Consuela Blaze. A little over 1.5 miles at Shatin. And we'll see what they get up to. Caracan up the front with Candy Star. Brex. Brisingham. Blaze at the back, but we know she's got that turner pace, which should worry anyone. Hara is last at the moment, but right on the heels. Just under a mile to go then. Blaze making her way up the inside. Looks like there's room. Can step out and around Brex, which she does. 1/2 mile. Caracan from Candy Star. Plateau Brex. Consuela Blaze is gonna come with power at the end. Caracan takes in Consuela Blaze, yeah. And Hara dead last. So everything we've seen is instantly summed up in that race. Caracan, very good. Blaze, very good closer. It's a little more situational because you might not get a clean run. Caracan's much more likely to get a clean run at the front than Blaze having to work through the field to challenge later. But Brex, Brisingham, Candy Star, 3 fantastic horses. And yeah, 2 of the 3 that we're testing, that all those races have kind of highlighted in different ways for me to test. And it's Caracan and Consuela Blaze and Hara. So unless Hara is just not performing in the CK, that wouldn't explain why we don't see much in-game either. Yeah. Same test. Japan, mile 1, same 6. Brisingham's kind of the control, because he's never going to be on distance. We're not going to 1.6 or 2 miles. So it's all about kind of how he places as the pivot, really. Candy Star and Plateau Brex should be insanely difficult to beat. Caracan is now living with them here. And Consuela Blaze is coming in late as a closer to take it. Caracan barely held off Brex, Candy Star. And Hurrah does overcome Brazingham, who's well off his distance at this one. But, yeah, again, it's such a big gap back. Such a big gap back. It's so tough to beat these. And yet in both of those, we have. Let's stay here. Going to double the distance to 2-2, and we're going to go fences. And see if it plays out roughly the same, because I think it might. I hope it does. But again, this is a very interesting idea of how much a good horse is a good horse, and how much they are dependent on flats or jumps. Knowing that really none of these probably should be running over jumps. So at least there's a kind of even playing field on that matter. Candy Star doing Candy Star kind of things, impressing from the front. But they do kind of slow down in the latter third sometimes. Consuela Blaze is already up. And doing a little something here. Edging into the lead on the back straight. That's very interesting to me. Do closers make good jumpers? Is there something in the way that a closer runs that kind of sets them up to be good jumpers? Maybe? There goes Candy Star falling off, and Consuela Blaze takes it easily. But it's Caracan, and you can't really split Brex or Candy Star there. Brazingaman, well back. Hara just not even close. Like, not even close. Hanshin 3-4. I want to see these. Now I think Brazingham becomes maybe a little more of something. Maybe now his distance comes into play. And then we'll run it back with fences and kind of see how that affects things. We've done all our big tests. We did get the names to test in these smaller fields. And like I say, we're going up against my best distance, my best Triple Crown horse, and just one of the best pure horses I think I've had. I would have loved to put Dramster or Stardrom, especially in this, but they just say they don't compete, so you wouldn't get a fair reflection of them. Blaze pulls up with an injury. So that's a shame. It's all about Caracan and Hara in this one. Again, Caracar's right at the front, in between Brex and Star. And Brazingham is ahead of Hara at the back. Still a long way to go, a long way to change things. But Hara is just consistently not able to live in this company. Could be just not a CK horse. But it does kind of feel like maybe, just maybe, this is who he is. From what we've seen in the race and in the CK. I'm very interested to see how Caracan deals with Brazingham kind of on distance here. Candy Star is going to do Candy Star kind of things. Brex is going to show the quality. Brazingham's going to show the stamina. How does Caracan respond? A little push to live with them. I'm not dropping off. Candy Star, very impressive. Brazingham through everything. Caracan lived in the company again. Harad doesn't. Such a shame. Such a shame. Would love to see where Blaze would have been, but I would have probably have expected her to be there with the leaders and not with Harad. So, yeah, a little shame about him in a lot of ways. We're just going to be in the trees if we go that side. So clean jumping. Some good, some bad, but no real issues. Couple kind of clipping on that one quite badly, though. Again, it's kind of the same order, but Harad's actually up in the middle right now instead of being dead last at the start. So saying that, they're going to drop back a little more. And only Brazingham is currently behind them. Blaze is a closer, so she doesn't worry me as much. And Caracan sitting in between Candy Star and Plateau Brex is very encouraging. Haran now has fallen back from Blaze. Brazingham not really being up in this mix is a little disappointing, but he could be a really good closer in his day. We're not seeing it, but he could be. He has got up on Hara, and Blaze is now right on the backs of this very impressive trio. The four of them are really tight right now at the front with just about a mile to go. Poor jump from Blaze. They're about to take lead, but a good jump puts them in first there now. Brex just lagging a touch behind. Caracan is there, and here comes Brazingham. Good, solid final half a mile from Brazingham. Gonna make this a contest. Caracan still living in this company. Plateau Brex struggling a little bit as well. The two of them dropping off a bit. Candy Star about to be left by Consuela Blaze with Brazingham coming at pace a little bit. Candy Star, quality horse though, fighting off Brazingham. But Consuela Blaze, just fantastic. Very easily could be another Eve horse. Eve's Water, Eve's Secret, Modern Eve. Just an overperformer in the CK. I'm well aware of that. We need to kind of take that into consideration. But there were still good horses that pretty much could win a Triple Crown. Eve's Secret and Eve's Water especially. And at worst, I think Blaze lives in their company. At worst, I think Caracan lives in their company. But there you go. Tell me what you think from those races, exactly what you think of those horses. But what we just saw maybe does line up with what we're starting to see with Caracan. A little hit and miss in places. But some pretty solid runs from the start of this year. Little blip, and now coming back into it. It feels like a good horse is starting to run inconsistently, but starting to run like a good horse. And showed that in the CK. Purple Searcher, very hit and miss, but can win a big race now and again. Yeah, we can see that. Can actually jump, which helps a ton. Sweet and Sour, one or two good races, for sure. And South Bullet. A little surprising in some races. Not the best jumper, but yeah, just has done a lot here on the flat. Probably asked a little too much in terms of distance and in terms of grade and moving abroad. But maybe something to keep an eye on there, to be fair. So Bullet could be a really interesting one moving forward. But yeah, Caracan, really good. I don't know if I'd want to test any of these in the CK at this age either. I don't really think they're ready, so that's fine. We didn't have those. I didn't bring any of these from the field out either. Again, I don't really think they're not doing anything right now. So their time will come. But we did test all these, and one or two good ones, but Caracan, sure, there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there. A couple of others, maybe there's something there. And then from the American side of things, what we're seeing in the CK is kind of what we're seeing here. I will say that a mile 2 has sort of, fit Hara better, which is why most of the season is a mile 2. It's just I really wanted someone for the World Cups, and he could have had a very good run in this one. Very unlucky. Could have even won it. This wasn't a million miles away, but this is a good horse, not a great horse, in with some pretty competitive horses. That's kind of what I feel is going on, and slightly off distance. Yeah. I think a mile 2 is realistically what I want to be running, and that's why we've booked him out as we booked him out, but we will adapt a little bit. Yeah, the 3-year-olds didn't really show up that much at all in a good way. The Surprise Life Quest didn't more as well, especially over that mile. But they're doing good in game. I don't really need to worry too much about them. See, a couple of these 2-year-olds kind of punched out into that mid-table spot a bit now and again. Not very often. And the breeding. Like only one horse stood out. And she stood out at distances. She didn't do much at 2, to be fair. She almost won 2 grade 1s, but she didn't excel at 2. And then early as a 3-year-old, she started rolling. And she probably went too high in distance but was the only one really we had to run. So she did give it a decent go. She wasn't miles away. She was almost in the money and probably off distance. And then it's very hit and miss here. But actually a really nice run in all of these, including then, as she turns 4, those World Cups. And then she falls off after that. That's a very interesting horse. That's a very interesting horse. It's so interesting. That I think she really needs to come into this save. Blazing Sue. Why not just Blazing Sue? There you go. Yeah. Yeah, all I need to do is do a little bit of inventory management. Be careful what I'm pressing, or I'm going to have to do things again. There you go. She fits right in. Yeah, going to be interesting for sure, because she just can't jump, right? She doesn't look amazing. She just can't jump. But doesn't that really fit with what we've got going on with most of our 5-year-olds? A lot of them can't really jump and don't look exceptional. Like Dramster, probably the key at that. So yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. Caracan and Blazing Sue, and we'll see what they can do. We'll see what they can do. But I like this group. I do like this group. I think there's definitely something here. Living Pot showed up in in a lot of races last. I don't know what I was going to say last year in the CK. Was at the front quite often at the start and fell away, but some of them hung around the front. Yeah, she could be something interesting. South Bullet, like I say, a lot of flat runs. We got to make sure that they can jump and that they grow into who we feel they can be, even with their weaknesses. Now and again, we're showing up in the CK more than most of these. Sweden Sour had a good run or two, to be fair. Again, just can't jump. Solid horse, though. Yeah, bringing Sue in, I think, is probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. And is in good company as a 5-year-old. That's going to make things a little more interesting. I think these are all from... Yeah. Those are all American horses. So we're going to make sure we save that one. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave things. I think I have a better idea of who some of these horses are now. And my expectations have been raised or lowered accordingly. But it ultimately matters what they do in the save and not the CK. It does. But I'm not going to judge Hara too harshly on what he's done so far. Even though I have used jockey instructions in some of those races and they haven't gone well, and then I haven't used them in others and they still haven't gone well. There are reasons why that might have been. Yeah. I think we judge him when he's on race 2 or race 3 in a row at a mile 2. I think that will tell us a lot about who this horse actually is. But I don't feel it's a monster. I don't feel it's a probable 140 candidate or a 20 grade 1 winner. I don't feel it's gonna be a great stud. I just think he's a good horse. And that's not really enough anymore, because where we're at and his unstable competition, he's not with good horses, he's with very good horses or great horses. And even some of them aren't able to perform at the highest levels. So, yeah, Caracan, we're going to push in the belief that he will come good. Hara, we're going to tweak to try and get him as close as we can and see if we can steal some that I don't think we should get. And Blazing Sue, we just got to see if she can jump. We just got to see what she does. She's coming in at 5. No jump bar. Very little chance that she actually does anything special. But she was always in and around things, especially at distance. So either she's just a demon in the CK or there's something there. We kind of saw it on the flat save. Let's see if we can find it on the jumps. So, yeah. Quite an interesting one for me, just rebalancing my head and kind of make me think in certain ways about different horses in different situations. And I kind of like what I've done, especially since, one of the races Blaze was really good at was the 4 mile over jumps. And with this jump save, I've always got one eye on the Grand National. I'm always thinking about what it's going to take to get there. And I think a lot of the horses we got right now are probably better for breeding than they will be for racing. They're not going to be at that level. But they are going to be key building blocks to get us to that level one day. Someone like Blaze or Brazingham, they kind of do have that distance. And they might be able to make more of an impact. So I don't know. But we are going to find out. I hope you're going to be here for it. Thanks for sticking with this. It's been a long video, but I find it interesting to do these from time to time. I hope you enjoy seeing them and kind of are able to work through things with me. Do leave your comments down below. As always, I will get back to them as soon as I can. I feel I give out a ton of insight to my viewers, but I also feel I get a lot back as well. And I love that discussion. And I feel, everybody's learning from everybody the way it really should be in a community. And that's what I love that we're building here, is a proper community. Especially around this game, but around my other games as well. I love that interaction. So continue it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing people's thoughts on this one. But yeah, very interesting for me either way. Just my own thoughts, but I'd like others' insights because different viewpoints are always going to see different things. Um, while you're there, smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't. Does the same. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. Till then, take care. Stay safe. All the very best. Let me know what you want to see more of. What you want to know. I'll get back to you as I can. But yeah, thanks for being a part of it. Long one. I'll see you in the next one as we get back to racing and maybe a better idea of what's going on. Hopefully. Possibly not, but hopefully.